Hello and welcome to the Africa Smart Home and Building Show. This channel's mission is to bring you the latest trends in smart homes and building automation. Weekly interviews with industry leaders. We discuss misconceptions, product reviews, tips, tricks, and a whole lot more. If something like this may be of interest to you, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and bell so you're notified of our latest uploads. On this episode, I interview Warren Husband, who is from Homation, one of the market leaders in home automation. Give us some sunshine if you like it. But before we do, just a quick shout out to our sponsor, Integrated Homes, for making this all possible. These guys have been in the game for a decade. So if you're wanting your home or building converted into a smart home or building, it may be a good idea to give these guys a call as they know what they're doing. Okay, it's time now for the show. Let's get into it. We're gonna do it together. Welcome to the show! Today we have the opportunity to chat to Warren, who's an absolute expert with smart homes. So, Warren's going to teach us all about smart homes today. Warren, there are lots of questions that I have, and I'm hopeful that you can show us all sorts of fancy things that you can do. I think a great space to start would be the front door. So I think let's start there and then walk us through. Yeah. So let's do that. Before we go on, if you've got any questions with regards to anything we talk about today, drop them in the comments.
Today we're going to talk a little bit about smart home automation and some of the features and functions that are available to you for the benefits and security and comfort of the family. Let's go inside and see the home in action. Welcome to your future home. As we arrive inside the home, already the home is starting to respond by opening some blinds and curtains in the space for some natural lighting. Back on my touchscreen over here, as I arrive inside the home, the alarm system has been brought up so that I can disarm the alarm from the Control 4 touchscreen. And the benefit of this is that I don't have another keypad as an eyesore in the entrance of a beautiful home. More than that though, when I disarm my alarm system, notice how the home is going to respond with a nice welcome home lighting scene. Perhaps we turn on the living room TV to your favorite news or sports channel, play some nice chilled music in the background of the home, or turn on fountains and water features in the garden. The point is, we can do anything you want. We can set the home up the way you like.
Clearly this is our first vlog on the show!
Welcome to the show!
As we walked in the front door, the first little ninja trick, is that the blinds open, the TV went on.
That's right.
What else happened?
So my setup is I want the blinds to open when I get home, and obviously this is now assuming it's daytime, right? At night I'm not going to open my blinds and curtains. TV turned on to my favorite sports channel.
If you've got a water fountain outside, if you've got the aircon, so in other words, when you push one button on your phone, the front door can open.
That's right.
The blinds can close, right. The lighting can go at certain, that area of the
based
house
on
is
time
dim,
of day, yeah.
This is brighter.
That's it.
That's a pretty neat trick.
Let's talk on the aircon side of things. You know that an aircon takes a little while to get to temperature, so why not rather have the aircon turn on when I'm 5 k's from home, right? That allows the aircon to get the room to a comfortable temperature so that when I get home, it's already cool in summer, or maybe a little bit warmer in winter. Smart homes. While we're at the front door, I have pre-programmed a quick button to quickly unlock or lock the door from the touchscreen. You're going to hear the door unlock right now. And remember, everything can be accessed from your phone as well. So let's lock the door. Another important feature in many smart homes is camera integration. Not only from an intrusion attempt point of view, but sometimes just to keep an eye on what's going on. Perhaps the kids are playing in the back garden by the pool, and while you're preparing a meal, you want to make sure that they're not killing each other and everything is safe. Cameras can be accessed through the touchscreen by pressing security and cameras, and that could bring a grid of as many as 32 or more cameras in and around the home. Now 32 is a lot, but if there's a particular camera, for our example here, the back garden, that's important to be able to quickly access, Control 4 does allow you to favorite those features to the room itself. Now I've already done that, but if I go back to my kitchen, you'll see there's a button that allows me to quickly access that preferred camera in the kitchen. Bear in mind, the bedroom touchscreen might have a slightly different layout, and maybe you want to keep an eye on the front garden should you hear any noises. Remember also that everything you see on the touchscreen is what you're going to see on your mobile device as well. And this is available not only from inside the home, but anywhere in the world as well.
For instance, I'm at work, and I just want to check something, alarm goes or something, I can access all these cameras on my phone.
100% right. Remember, everything that you're seeing on a touchscreen over here can be done from the phone, not only inside the home, but from anywhere in the world as well. If my alarm went off now, first of all, the Control 4 system is going to send me a notification to my phone, alerting me to the fact. It's also going to send me a screenshot of the camera that looks over that zone, so I can see what caused the alarm to go off purely by just getting that notification. Let's say it was a cat in the garden or something like that. Of course, I can then access my Control 4 Home from my smartphone, so I can check that there's nobody out that side and everything is safe and clear and good to go. Another important feature on the touchscreen side of things is the audio video management. If you're familiar with any of the popular streaming services like Tidal, Deezer, Spotify, AirPlay, Bluetooth.
We love Deezer, Spotify, iTunes. Speak to me, what can you do?
So we got all of that stuff covered, right? It doesn't matter which one of those or how many of those are your preferred streaming services. We're able to control or connect those systems to our control platform, and that allows us to then play all of our favorite music anywhere in the home. Let me go back and I want to show you that. There's my Deezer and Tidal. If I go, for example, into Deezer, my playlist that I've created, of course, these are always up to date with the music. Even if I'm driving into the driveway discovering new music, ooh, I like that, add to playlist, so it'll be up to date.
Literally, if I'm like 3 blocks away and I want to switch my aircon on and have a certain playlist,
that's right,
I can pre-program a certain volume, certain playlist at a certain time by pushing one button.
One button.
So one button, my aircon goes on, my blinds close, or
even better, no button press. Purely just by the system being able to pick up by means of what's called geofencing. Geofencing? So basically what it is you set up a virtual fence around your property or within your neighborhood. My system is set up that when I drive through the boom gates on my neighborhood, my aircon already is turned on, getting the room to a comfortable temperature. My lights have turned on, so I'm not arriving home to a dark home at night time. Well, certain inside lights. My outside lights have been turned on because that's a security feature anyway, right? So the home has been set up and prepared such that when I get home, my favorite music is in the background. My favorite sports channel is
how's that?
Living life at its fullest, right? We've got the intercom functionality as well. So when somebody arrives, if you're in an apartment on the other side, you can have a video intercom call with them before you open the door. Sometimes you just want to make sure who's at the door, you know, knock knock, and looking through a peep glass is very old school. I set my lock to automatically lock itself after 10 seconds so that I know, I never have to think about, ooh, did I leave the door unlocked or locked? It is automatically locked. If my door is closed, it's locked.
I can hear music. Where's that music coming from?
So I've actually got a really cool solution here in my kitchen. In a smart home, audio distribution is the concept of being able to play your favorite music in different areas of the home. Perhaps you'd like to listen to some chilled music in the kitchen or listen to some rock music out on the patio. When it comes time to entertain though, it's great to have the same music scattered around the home, out in the garden, in the dining room, and out on the patio as well. So come check it out.
So you're telling me a smart home kitchen has a subwoofer in the kitchen. That's a bit OTT.
I like to party in the kitchen, man. Trust me, my neighbors know when I'm cooking, right? So here, I've got a subwoofer. Yeah. Now, normally this guy would live up in a bulkhead, right? So completely out of the way of the home. I've hidden it in the cupboard. I did it as an after fact. So subwoofer, high performance speakers, big sound, little design, right?
Okay, so there's speakers up on the ceiling there.
That's right.
Subwoofer in the kitchen.
On that side over there.
It's a bit OTT, but love.
System bangs.
Okay, cool. And speak to me about lighting. I think, especially date nights, I mean, lighting is very important, as you know, Warren.
Lighting's critical in a smart home, right? Now, there's a couple of reasons why lighting's so important. Lighting is not only designed, a smart lighting system is not only designed to be convenient to use, less clutter and wall acne, right? But also it's about creating the scenes, about creating the experience. And of course, once you've got a smart lighting on a smart home system, the lighting actually plays a pivotal role in the security of the home as well, right? So I have the ability, like I've got a ton of lights in the space. I've got chandeliers and bulkheads and ceiling lights and rope lights and strip lights. And I've got like 10 lighting circuits in these 2 rooms alone, right? You can appreciate if I had a conventional lighting system, I'm gonna have like these switches and dimmers everywhere.
This is very gibberish. Show me what it can do. Show me the switches.
So
this is a man who knows smart homes. So for all the newbies out there,
let's declutter your walls. Let's make the solution easy to use. Let me rather give you 3 buttons than 10. So here we go.
So what's this all about?
Let's talk a little bit about smart lighting. First of all, what is smart lighting? Well, nowadays we have so many lighting circuits in and around our home because lighting has become efficient, and we have the ability to add bulkhead lights and down lights and strip lights, lights behind TVs and floating cabinets. With a conventional lighting system though, you could appreciate that you're going to have a whole bunch of switches and buttons around the home. Not only does that produce a little bit of wall acne, we call it, but it also becomes very inconvenient to try and create the right lighting scenes. A smart lighting system allows us to take control of all of those lights with fewer buttons, and oftentimes we'll be talking about scenes, a relaxing scene or a entertaining scene to set the scene up perfectly. A smart lighting system allows us to declutter the wall into fewer buttons. For example, perhaps in a living room environment you only have a bright, dim and off button, and that could control all the lights in and around that given area. Now, these guys can control not only smart lighting, but other features and functions within the room. Perhaps opening and closing blinds and curtains, or adjusting the volume on the keypad, playing your favorite music playlist when you move into the dining room. We can control anything we want. These buttons have been engraved so that it's easy to identify what each button does, not only for the family, but for guests in the home as well. And it's important to mention that the engraving is backlit, so even in a dark room you can identify what each button does. There's LEDs next to each one of those buttons as well, and over 200 colors could be programmed to those. Now, we're not going to use all 200 colors, otherwise your home looks like a Christmas tree, but it is useful for feedback. For example, in my home, the button that opens and closes the perimeter gate has a green or a red LED, and that tells me that the gate is physically open or closed. I don't need to look out a window or try and view a camera. I can tell from a keypad like this the state of my garage doors, my perimeter gates, my pool pumps, my geysers, etc. Full functionality, quickly and conveniently accessed from a keypad like this. These buttons can be configured between 2 and 7 buttons and are available in multiple finishes and styles. Let's have a little bit of fun with our automation system. Let's say you have a large home and a large family. You can appreciate it's quite a challenge to get everybody around the dining room table before dinner goes cold. To have a little bit of fun, we've created a dinner call button. Now, in my home, I've programmed my dinner call button to turn off my living room TVs when it's dinner time. My son, who's playing PC games with headphones on, is oblivious to the world around him, so we flash the lights in the bedroom. We're going to utilize our distributed audio system to play an announcement throughout the home, even out in the garden. Dinner's ready. Now, no matter where your friends or family are, they've heard the announcement, they know it's time to come to the dining room. While that happens, the room is going to be prepared for us also. My shades will come down to give us some privacy in the space and to stop the sun from glaring through the windows. We'll start a lighting scene to focus around the dining room table. The music session that we started in the kitchen will also move into the dining room as well. One button press, dinner time.
Dinner is ready.
Shades coming down. Music moving into dining room. And the lighting scene too. In a smart home, after dinner and the family wants to relax in the living room, with one button press, the room can be prepared. You'll notice the lamp will turn on for a little bit of lighting. Again, my shades are coming down to give us some privacy in the space. We've even integrated our gas fireplace into the scene, so on a cold winter's day, the fireplace gives not only light, but warmth too. I'm going to push one button as we move over into the living room to create that scene. Remember, you can do this from your phone too. Lamp is turned on, shades coming down. One button press and the system will do the rest. Here you see that my TV is turned on to the correct input. The amplifier is turned over to its correct input, giving us the best sound setting for the room as well. TVs are cool for kids watching cartoons or maybe catching up with the news events of the day. But when it comes to Friday night movie time, maybe you want a big screen experience. Control 4 allows us to do that with one button press. Here's my movie mode. You'll notice that my screen is dropping down from in front of the TV. Behind us, the projector came down from the motorized bracket in the bulkhead. Because we've moved over to a projector-based system, we understand that lighting is important to control, so we've turned off certain lighting circuits and even closed our blinds and curtains, giving us the best picture quality for movie time on a Friday night. In a smart home, here's an example of a first scene of a living room converting to a media room.
Welcome to the show! So, if you're in the kitchen, chilling, eating dinner, and then you park here on the couch, you can push one button on your phone and then preset that the kitchen lights automatically go off, TV turns on or off, the sound is playlist. Wow, man.
So let me make it practical for you. Let me give you my routine at home, and this is sometimes what's going to make it more kind of make a little bit more sense, right? Typically my kind of routine is I've prepared a meal in the kitchen. Like I said, all my neighbors have heard me making a noise in the kitchen while I'm preparing my meal. That's where I get to listen to some of my favorite music. Once I've prepared my meal and it's trying to get the wife into the dining room, she's busy with her own thing in the other side of the house, one button press. Ding, and it's dinner time, right? And what happens at that button press is the music I was listening to in the kitchen will move over into the dining room, nice and soft though, because it's now time for conversation. The TV that I had on in the background with the sports on, switch that off because, you know, watching TV is not very good for engaging in conversation, so TV gets turned off. The lights will flash in all the bedrooms, and I use the sound system in the home to play an announcement to let the wife know that it's dinner time. Time to come to the dining room table, right? There's no shouting across the passages, hey, dinner's ready. So one button press.
So what core features like for dinner time? So you can do lights on and off. What else?
Manage the lighting scenes, maybe even change the color within the room. If you've gone from a very white kind of usable lighting to something a bit softer, a bit more sort of yellow lighting to create the vibe in the scene, we can do that kind of thing as well. Cool. The music moves over. Let's close the shades, the automated shades as well. Stop the sun from beaming in if we're having an early dinner in summer, right? And also help manage the temperature within the room. The aircon's going to turn on in the dining room for us as well, making sure the room is comfortable. It's not only about the cool side of things, but it's the convenience of the room being prepared for us.
Warren, this vlogging thing is like a lot of hard work. So I think let's go sit down so I can ask you some questions.
Cool, let's go take a seat.
Let's do it. Today I have the opportunity of chatting to Warren from Homation, who's an absolute genius when it comes to smart homes. So if smart homes or buildings, smart buildings, is something of interest to you, hit the subscribe button. This channel is dedicated to bringing you the latest trends in smart homes and automation. So guys, if this is something of interest to you, hit the subscribe button. Warren, our first question. What is a smart home? Please explain that to us. And is a smart home right for who?
Everybody's involved in smart stuff. Your phone is smart, your watch is smart, your car is smart, your TV is smart. We're exposed to smart products. Is a smart home right for me? That's the age we live in. But what is a smart home, right? So we're exposed to all these smart products. But what we're trying to show in a home automation environment is a smart home is not just about the products individually, but collectively rather, an operating system, so to speak, that brings together these smart products, your TVs, your lighting, your audio-visual systems, alarms and cameras, into a single unified app that makes it easy to use, convenient and secure.
Tell me more about what is a smart home. Are we talking little gadgets that you can get off Amazon?
Yeah, it's a good question. So a smart home encompasses all technology within the home, right? Now, some smart homes are smarter than others. Some clients or clientele want to just make certain features or functions convenient. But really the intention is around the orchestrated the collectiveness, so to speak, right? So all these products on their own are cool, and yeah, they're smart, but like an operating system, think of it like the app on your phone that brings together all the other apps, right? Let me give you an example. When my alarm system goes off, my lights turn on in the bedroom, waking me up. My outside lights are going to flash, showing the neighbors and the armed response that this is the house making the noise. The camera that looks over the zone of the alarm that triggered is automatically brought onto my touchscreens. Make sure that all my doors are locked at that time. My home responds to the alarm going off. That's a smart home. That's an example of a smart home anyway.
Warren, another question. What are the biggest misconceptions about smart homes and what is expected in a smart home?
Okay, so obviously we engage with a lot of people who've got no idea what this whole smart home concept is. And some of the common things that keep coming up are, a smart home system is going to be complex. Well, no, that defeats the whole object of what a smart home is, right? When you get a professional involved who's got years of experience behind them and a better understanding of what the whole solution is, the intention of a smart home is to be easy to use, right? That's the point. Convenient, comfortable,
when you say professional, you're talking about the people that actually install in the home.
That's exactly right, right?
So it's easy buying stuff off Amazon, but it's actually how you integrate it, and you basically need somebody who actually knows what they're doing.
So that's exactly it. Some of the biggest misconceptions come from this DIY automation side of things. And while there's some very clever people out there building smart homes for themselves, the reality is a vast majority of people have got no clue about the technology that's going on. And with a poorly designed system, talking just buying bits and pieces over the internet, you very quickly or very easily get into I'm making it more difficult for myself, right? So the point is, deal with the professional. Somebody who's got the ability to understand the needs and requirements of the family, the benefits of the technology, and they can bring the solution together to make it easy to use. And that's
so you can still buy your things, but the average home to a smart home is actually having the right integration between the different systems that you're using to actually make everything streamlined.
It's not about the products individually, right? It's not about an Alexa voice assistant or a smart locking system or a camera system, etc. It's about the integration of all of them.
In other words, how they all talk,
how they work together. Yeah. Exactly right. Now, buying products online, or you're buying smart products. Cool, no problem. You're not buying a smart home. You're not buying the programming, the back-end software, and bringing these devices together, orchestrating them to work together. I gave the example of when my alarm system triggered, right? Very few smart homes, if not done by a professional, are going to have the lights, the audio-video systems, the camera systems, the alarm system, all working together. And that's the point.
But give us another misconception.
Okay, so major misconception that I often get, and I love this one. What happens if there's no power in the house? What's going to happen? Well, I mean, and I say it as a bit of a joke, but if there's no power in the house, you don't have lights. It doesn't matter whether it was a smart system or a conventional lighting system. No power means no lights, right? If I have no power, am I locked outside of my house? No, that's a terrible misconception, right? Any well-designed system or smart product should have some level of redundancy built in, right? So let's take my smart lock as an example. The smart lock is battery operated. Why? Because if Eskom here in South Africa drops us with the power, I'm not going to get locked outside of my house. The batteries are always there. Being battery operated, also what happens if the batteries start running low? Well, it's a smart product integrated into a smart home. So first of all, the lock will alert me if the battery is becoming low. And because it integrates to my control system, I get notifications on my phone. When the batteries get critically low, if I haven't changed them at that point, I start to then incorporate lights flashing or announcements playing. So I get an audible and a visual indication, oh yeah, I've got to change those batteries before I do maybe get locked outside my house. Even then, if I'm away on an extended holiday, for example, and I completely forgot and I don't manage to get those lights sorted, well then even then I have a backup means, a manual, a key, like a normal lock. So the point is, I'm never locked outside of my home, right? I'm always in control of the home, and when everything is up and running and convenient and working, when the power is on, so to speak, then the home works to the best advantage. if something goes wrong, if a battery dies or whatever the case is, you should always have a means of controlling that device or area of the home, right? It's about redundancy. And again, that's another major point. That's why you get professionals involved, because they've played this game before, right? They've seen the good and the bad side of anything, and they make sure that the home is prepared correctly, got the redundancy methods in place, and that the home works for you.
That is beautifully said, Warren. But for all the newbies out there, including myself, another big misconception about a smart home. I mean, do you have people that come to you that say something and you're like, what?
Hey, I've got my internet has been supplied by my fiber supplier, whatever the case is. We're going to use that network. Look, the reality is when you're starting to talk smart homes, there's a lot of devices that are starting to connect to the network, not necessarily the internet, but the network, right? So it is important that the home starts off with, before you buy any of these internet products, smart products, start with a rock solid network, right? That's going to give you the platform to start adding on these smart devices. Not just a platform to add them, but a reliable platform to add them. You got to understand that.
To all the
but that's exactly it. You got to understand that the free router that was delivered when you get your fiber installed at your home was never ever designed to run so many services all together. It might have a decent internet connection, but think about it. Your cameras, your alarm system, your lighting system sometimes, your audio-visual systems, including streaming your favorite TV or music shows, that all comes through the network. We put massive strain on our network nowadays. So misconception, I got the router from the service provider, we're going to use that. Not good enough, right? It's not good enough.
Okay.
You've got a lot of traffic happening in and out of your home from a data point of view, from a network point of view. You need to make sure that the network is capable of handling that reliably. I don't want to, it's pointless if my alarm goes off that it takes half a minute to a minute for a camera to show up because the network was running slowly under pressure, right? I need to know about that there and then, and the network is the critical starting point of that whole thing.
What is expected from a smart home?
So that comes down to client preferences, right? And again, oftentimes when we're talking to newcomers to the smart home environment,
this is for newbies.
That's exactly it. So in many cases, the people that I interact with have got no idea about what a smart home is.
So what is the one or two things?
So in my experience, two major things stand out for me. Smart lighting solutions. Okay. Remember, smart lighting.
So that's one button when you have dinner time.
So that's, so decluttering your walls, nowadays in modern homes we have so many lighting circuits, lights behind TVs and over floating cabinets
it's crazy
and ceilings and lamps, and you've got all these lighting fixtures and features because it does help make the home pretty, right? Or highlight artwork or architectural details of the home. But if you have a conventional lighting system, you're going to have 1,000 switches along the walls in various areas of your home. And I've got to be honest with you, you live in the home for 2 days before you're like, just the main light is good enough. I'm not going to fiddle and play with all these different lights.
So that's great.
So
just to
convenience.
Recap is like you beautifully illustrated. There are hundreds of switches and light bulbs and what have you. So an expectation of a smart home is decluttering to minimize the wall acne, as you call it, as in lots of switches and gadgets and everything, which is fantastic. We like that.
That's it.
Okay.
So that's from a convenience point of view. And like I say, think about the space that we're in here. We've got something like 10 or 12 lighting circuits that are behind us over here. And I've decluttered my wall down to 3 buttons: bright, dim, and off. When I'm engaging with a guest.
Now what about date night, Warren?
Hey, well that's on the setting. That's a secret button that only I know about.
So you hit one button and magic happens.
And a little bit of Barry White playing in the background, and maybe the fireplace comes to life. We're really kind of setting the scene. So that's smart lighting from a convenience point of view, right? Recalling those lighting scenes. But also now that we've got smart lighting and an operating system that manages the smart home, then the lighting suddenly plays part of the security solution as well. I gave the example earlier, when my alarm triggers, the bedroom lights come on and the house lights start to flash.
This man knows too many things about smart homes. I want to get everything out of him. Next question I've got for you. What makes a smart home a good investment?
Okay, so that's a good question, and I want to answer it by, first of all, defining what an investment is, right? We live in our homes, we spend a lot of time in our homes, and the reality with this whole COVID thing that's going on, we're spending more time in our homes than ever before. So one part of the investment is make the home easy, convenient, comfortable, right? So that is the time you spend, you get your money's worth just in the time that we spend in our homes. Nice and easy and convenient to use. But looking at it from an energy efficiency point of view, the more stuff we have in our homes, air conditioning systems, trying to maintain the temperature within the home, the lighting usage, the audio video systems. So with the smart home system, we have the ability to monitor rooms that are being used and rooms that have been left unoccupied, right? So I love to say this, my wife is great at turning lights on, she's very bad at turning lights off. I love having a smart home because it does that for me, right? You walk into a room, maybe a light turns on automatically, the aircon turns on, make the room comfortable for while you're in it.
So when you walk out,
and when I
automatically lights go off, TV off.
Exactly right. When I leave the room after a predetermined amount of time, the aircon's going to turn off, the AV systems, the lighting systems, and what that means is I'm using less energy when I'm not in a certain space or in a certain room, right? And the same can be said when we move over to backup energy systems, like a lot of us will have in our smarter homes. We need to make the home work smarter. So for example, if I'm on a solar-based system and the power's gone out from our main supplier, then let's make the home work smarter to preserve those batteries to give us more time while there's no power in the home.
So Warren, I've invested in all the bells and whistles, and let's pretend I've got all the gadgets in my smart home. How do I control my smart home when I'm traveling, as I'm sure myself and other people out there and yourself travel away from home? What makes it smart when you're away or traveling?
Okay, so I'm going to give you two answers for that one. First of all, when you're away or traveling, one of the bigger concerns is my home is empty and somebody might be watching, right? So a good control system has what's called a occupancy mode. Basically what we do is we monitor what you do at home on an average, right? Weekdays, I normally arrive home a certain time, I then listen to a bit of music over here, I then turn on to the news at 7, around 9 o'clock I go to bed, etc. So when you go on holiday, you activate your holiday mode and the home has the ability to replay with randomization those features. So as if you're arriving home, listening to music on the patio, TV turns on in the living room to the news channel. 9 o'clock, around 9 o'clock you go to bed, so lights start turning off. Suddenly the home looks like it's occupied even though you're there. So point one is you don't even need to remember these things. Oh, I must turn on some lights and now I must change some lights. The home does that for you. That's a smart home. If there is anything that you need to do, right, you've always got the ability to connect to your smart home through your mobile device, through your cell phone as an example.
So if you've once got cameras in your home, you can actually see on your phone by pushing a button any camera at home.
100%. So let me give you a practical example, right? Just the other day, I had somebody came to my gate, they rang the doorbell, I was at the office at the time, I got the call on my phone. Hey, who are you? What's going on? It was Take-A-Lot doing a delivery for me, right? Now we've been having some rain of late, so through my phone, through my automation system, I said to the guy, listen, don't you want to deliver the parcel into the garage? From my phone at the office, I disarmed the alarm system, I opened the perimeter gate for him, I watched him on the cameras getting to the garage door, opened the garage door for him, he delivered the parcel in the garage door, I shut down and armed my home as he left.
But how did you sign for the parcel?
I didn't sign for the parcel.
Oh.
It was caught on camera and the guy was happy with that.
But that's awesome that you can do that.
The point is, I've got complete control of my home as if I was there from anywhere in the world. As long as I've got an internet
So
connection.
if you've got a animal, puppy, dog watcher when you're away on holiday, you can literally, they can give you a heads up and you can open the door for them, see what they're doing, close the door. That's pretty cool.
The point is you're always in control, right? Whether you're home or whether you're away, you should be in control of your home.
Warren, tell us, what is the difference between a multi-purpose media room and a dedicated cinema room for all the newbies out there?
Multi-purpose media room, something like a living room, right?
Where we're sitting now.
So exactly this, right? In fact, this is a good example of one. In a smart home, here's an example of a high-performance AV living room. So nice comfortable space, you know, we can kind of engage with our friends and family and all the rest of it. I've got a TV on the wall behind us over there.
Okay, so when you say multi-purpose, you're talking audio and TV.
Yeah, well, I'm talking.
What
I'm
else?
talking. So at this point, the room is just a comfortable lounge, right?
Okay.
Point one, comfortable lounge to sit, engage, TV.
Okay,
etc.
so a multi-purpose media room in your technical jargon and your technical terms is basically for the average person. It would be a living room, average living room.
Well, yeah. So let's take the living room as we see it over here.
Yeah.
Comfortable space to be, music, TV, happy days, no problem.
Yeah.
Friday nights though, I like to watch the movie with the family. So with a one button press, I have the ability to convert my living room into a cinema kind of experience, right? I don't have the space to have a dedicated cinema in my home, so I have a multi-purpose media room. My living room, my TV lounge with a button press is going to convert into a cinema. I have a projector that drops down.
So in other words, there's a TV in front of us here.
Correct. That's
so by push of a button, we can have an actual screen come in front of the TV.
That's right.
And it turns from the TV to a bigger screen.
So
that's pretty cool.
It gives me that cinema experience in my living room. It's a multi-purpose room. We're able to control not only the audio-video system, eliminating the need for having 8 or 9 remotes on a coffee table, but we could also control features like lighting, audio-video systems, air conditioning systems, even the fireplace. It's as simple as pressing a button for the feature that you want. TVs are cool for kids watching cartoons or maybe catching up with the news events of the day, but when it comes to Friday night movie time, maybe you want a big screen experience. Control 4 allows us to do that with one button press. Here's my movie mode. You'll notice that my screen is dropping down from in front of the TV. Behind us, the projector came down from the motorized bracket in the bulkhead. Because we've moved over to a projector-based system, we understand that lighting is important to control, so we've turned off certain lighting circuits and even closed our blinds and curtains, giving us the best picture quality for movie time on a Friday night. In a smart home, here's an example of a first scene of a living room converting to a media room. Compare or contrast that to a dedicated cinema. Typically you're going to have a slightly higher performance expectation in a dedicated cinema. Either you're an enthusiast or you just have the space and the ability to be able to do it. So a dedicated cinema is going to be a space where you get to go and retire to, maybe with the family or the kids going off while you're entertaining with the adults, etc. And that's typically a bit more focused, right?
Now, those rooms with no windows, and
that's
it's like
exactly.
sound.
We're going to control the lighting by minimizing windows. We're going to control the acoustics with.
Hopefully, you're going to go show me.
In a smart home, here's a great example of a home cinema. When it comes to designing a world-class home cinema, thumbsucking's just not good enough. We take into consideration all aspects of the room, from the physical properties and dimensions of the room. We can plot out the acoustic treatment requirements, and of course the audio-visual system as well. The lighting, the seating layout, and even the screen sizes are important factors to be considered. When it comes to the acoustic treatment within a home cinema, it's important to remember that the sound system and the room work hand in hand. Now, a normal living room gets covered in terms of the couches, carpets and curtains that have an acoustic property, but a home cinema is typically a lot more bare than a living room environment. So it's important to get some level of acoustic treatment to control the response of that room and get the best performance out of your sound system. Back at the front wall over here, you can see that the focus is on a large screen. Here we've gone with the wide angle screen to get the best picture quality and best picture size when we're watching movies. The screen is acoustically transparent, and what that means is I'm able to place my speakers behind the screen exactly where they're supposed to be. The left and right edges and right in the middle of the screen. So what I hear and what I see on screen matches up perfectly. Keeping a nice clean look up in the front, we've hidden our subwoofers behind acoustically transparent material, and again that's a nice clean look and stopping kids from poking buttons or pressing into speakers. Around the room we've got a surround sound configuration where our speakers surround you, and of course we've also got speakers up in the ceiling to give us an immersive surround sound experience. Now what's the point of an immersive surround sound experience? Well, it's easy enough. If a car is supposed to drive past you and a helicopter flies overhead, Because we have those channels around you, we can actually produce those sounds in and around that room, creating a lifelike, realistic experience. I'd like to say better than a commercial cinema. When it comes to the acoustic treatment, we need to absorb some of the energy within the room, and soft acoustic treatment panels help us to achieve that. On the screen, an acoustically transparent screen with a whole bunch of holes in it, intentionally, allow us to place our speakers behind the screen exactly where they're supposed to be. Let's talk remote controls. It's pointless having a great audio-visual system if nobody in the home knows how to use it. A easy-to-use universal remote control makes the system easy to use for everybody in the family. Simply choose what you want to do. I want to watch my Blu-ray player, I want to watch my favorite TV show, or I want to watch my Apple TV as an example, and let the system do the rest. So let's talk about the lighting. In a cinema, it's typically quite important to control the lighting within the space, not only to get the best picture quality on our projector, but to make the room comfortable and convenient for the family too. A smart lighting system allows us to control all the lighting within the room, either from the press of a button, from our remote control, or even by pressing play on our movie. We can control the lights, dim it down, and create the right experience for you. But a dedicated cinema, not necessarily that it has to be for movies, right? You get that. But it is a dedicated space. It's a space where you can go to, not like a living room like this, it's a space you can go to get the best performance out of your audio-visual system.
Or watching the rugby.
Watching the rugby or sports, or playing PlayStation or PC games maybe. So you can use the room for more than just movies. You've got to get me on that.
Okay.
But it's typically, it's aimed at a high performance expectation. In a smart home, here's an example of a high performance AV living room.
Okay, Warren, Warren, I've got another question.
Welcome to the show!
Welcome to the show! We're gonna do it together. Welcome to the show! Warren, next question.
Yeah.
Can I control my smart home using voice command?
Any good home automation system should, yes.
In other words, for all the guys and girls out there, voice commands, it's Lexus, you speak to your phone, okay? Because I know my mom's not gonna get this. But anyway, carry on.
Yeah, so what is a voice command, right?
Yeah.
So you've got these products like Alexas and Google Home Assistants, and they allow you to talk to this voice assistant, and that would then send the command, right? Think about it like pressing a button on a remote control or a keypad, but this time by means of using a voice. So can it be done? Absolutely. A good home automation system should allow you to control the home by means of voice.
As in,
command.
switch off the lights and it switches off.
Exactly
or
right.
Switch on the sprinklers and it...
Absolutely right. So let's think of one or two practical examples with that in mind. I've got a voice assistant in my kitchen behind us over here. I have another voice assistant in my garage. And that's two areas in my home where I really find voice assistants convenient. Right? I'm preparing a meal in the kitchen, or I'm busy washing up, my hands are a little bit dirty. I don't want to be fiddling with touchscreens and keypads at that time, right? So it's useful to call to a voice assistant for things like, hey, add task lighting, or lock my door, change song, etc. When I'm working in the garage on my motorbikes, my hands are filthy, I don't want to be reaching for my cell phone. So again, I get to say, hey, close the garage door,
or can you say like, family dinner time or date night, or can you...
So you can create any voice command for pretty much anything you want.
That does multiple things.
That does
as
multiple...
blinds come down, lights dim, music goes on.
So yeah, you could do things like
date night.
Alexa date night. That's a good example. Alexa date night. Fireplace comes to life, the lights get set, nice chilled romantic music in the background of the home. Close my blinds and curtains so people don't see what's going on inside my house. One voice command does all of that. So let me show you what I mean. Alexa, turn off the house.
Or Bra Saturday.
Or Saturday Bra, entertain with friends.
Yeah, and different playlist comes on.
Absolutely right.
So you've got two, correct me if I'm wrong, Warren. There's two main options. It's either voice command that can do multiple things, as well as on your smartphone, one button can do multiple functions.
A good home automation system should allow you to control it from multiple interfaces. touchscreens, keypads, cell phones, and voice commands,
sprinklers,
remote control.
water fountains.
Anything can be controlled. If it turns on
oven?
or up or down.
What about
we
the
can,
oven?
Yeah, in certain cases we can control ovens and coffee
And
machines
baths?
and stoves. We can run bath taps if you want.
way.
We could
Are
pretty
you
much
telling
control
me
anything.
that if you 2 blocks or 3 blocks away, that you can push a button and your shower heats up and the oven goes on? Can you do that?
Yeah, look, okay, so you can do anything you want, right? But you got to think about it practically as well. Some things maybe don't make sense, right? For example, my fireplace turning on automatically. Yeah, I could have my fireplace as I arrive into my driveway, fireplace turns on, in winter, garage door opens, etc., right? But let's say now I have my 4-year-old is he loves playing with dinosaurs and monster trucks and all the rest. He will typically leave his monster truck in my fireplace, right?
Yeah.
Do I want to automatically turn on my fireplace without seeing it?
No,
Maybe not a good idea.
Not the best of
This
ideas.
is why we're dealing with professionals. When it comes to yes, if it moves up, down, left or right, we can control it. Is it a good idea? Well, that's why a professional is involved oftentimes to help guide or navigate these
I mean, a
waters.
family man like yourself, sure, wouldn't necessarily want the fire on or the oven heating up or the bathwater running, but for all the bachelorettes out there and the bachelors, I mean, if there's no one at home, then it's okay to have you. I mean, is that? I know this is very new for me, but I mean, can you actually push a button and the oven actually turns on, as in it starts heating up so when you walk in the door you can literally just put your food in.
100%.
Bathwater running
if you wanted
so
to.
cool.
You really can. The sky's the limit, right? It really comes down to your imagination and the ability within the home to control these devices, but really pretty much anything can be done.
Okay, Warren, I've heard a lot about smart homes and all the fancy bells and whistles that one can do and all the reviews. So, to be blunt, what can make a smart home dumb?
That's a good question, and I think that's sometimes why you get these mixed reviews. I oftentimes say, now I represent 1 or 2 brands in the smart home space and some very cool products, etc. And I'll be the first person to say there are very few bad products out there, right? Any of the reputable brands and the reputable ranges out there's very few bad products out there. So what makes a smart home dumb? Overcomplicating a simple solution. The intention, remember that the whole point of a smart home is to work with you and not against you. Now, that's why we get professionals involved into the smart home projects. Professionals who've got experience and understanding of these systems.
But tell us, like Warren, what do have you heard some folks do that, I mean, I'm sure they don't need to do it, but something happens that actually just obviously doesn't make it smart, it makes the opposite. So what is that?
So like I say, overcomplicating simple solutions, right? Have one button to set the scene, the lighting scene in the home. Having too many options, or for example, on a keypad, many keypads would allow you to have, if I press the button, it does one thing. If I press and hold, it does something else. If I double tap or triple tap, that would do option number 3 or option number 4. Now, that's a very smart system, but unless you have an owner's manual next to each one of those keypads, nobody knows what those
So you can buy all these fancy gadgets and what have you, but you're saying the complexity of everything actually, well, it doesn't make it dumb, but it just makes it more involved and defeats the purpose of a smart home, which is actually minimalizing the complexity of everything in your
So
home.
that's exactly it. In my experience, the most frustrated homeowners when it comes to smart home applications are the ones that have got the most complicated systems. And actually nobody knows really, I don't know, I walk into a room, I don't know what button to press, the buttons haven't been engraved, you know? Now engraving
Or at the
is
back,
something
at the back of cupboards or whatever, you get like 400 extension cords or plugs and you don't know what the hell is happening.
Absolutely right. Overcomplicating what should be simple. And that's, in my experience, that's what makes a smart home dumb, is overcomplicating what really should be simple.
That makes perfect sense.